Congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA have successfully broken Caitlin Clark, and it's been an awful thing. Caitlin Clark is officially ruled out for tonight with a groin injury, and she will not play tonight.
The night Vegas got silenced. No warning, no superstar, no mercy. In a league that spent the past 3 summers crowning the Las Vegas Aces as an untouchable dynasty, the Indiana Fever marched into Gainbridge Fieldhouse and turned royalty into rubble, an 81-54 demolition that shredded a 16-game losing streak and rewired the WNBA hierarchy overnight. And here's the plot twist every headline left out.
Felt as if Paige Beckers actually had a special whistle. Now, I spoke about this last night, man, and people was definitely showing mixed reviews about it. But with all that being said, dog, we look like WNBA Commissioner Kathy has opened up about this situation a little bit and spoken about it. Now, I've been on Kathy Heine, bro, for a while now, going back to last year, addressing these WNBA referees. I've been one of the first content creators to break it all down, even letting you know how they pick them, how they find them, how much money they make. They only make like $100,000 a year, bro.
The architect of that beatdown was wearing a warm-up suit. Caitlin Clark, fresh off being named an all-star captain, never logged a second. Yet her team played the most complete game of its modern life. How did that happen? Why did the officials become part of the story? And what does Clark's own stubbornness mean for her return? Stick around. I promise the answer is juicier than any box score. Breaking the curse. Indiana opened the night like a squad possessed, rattling off 6 straight points before Vegas had finished adjusting shoelaces. By the end of the first period, it was 21-14, small edge, big statement. In the second, the Fever detonated. They shot 82%. Yes, 82. While the champs clinked to 24%.
Wait a minute. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought the mainstream media told me that AJ Wilson was a huge star. Isn't that the prevailing narrative throughout the media? They want to share the credit. They claim Angel Reese and AJ Wilson are the reason that people are watching pretend basketball. Now, sure, they give some credit to Caitlin Clark, but the media prefers to share the...
The halftime scoreboard flashed 46-24, and the sellout crowd realized they weren't dreaming. Remember, the Fever hadn't beaten the Aces since Barack Obama's second term. 16 consecutive Ls, many of them blowouts. History said Indiana needed every drop of Clark's long-range sorcery just to survive. Reality said otherwise. Kelsey Mitchell carved up the perimeter. Aliyah Boston owned the interior like the rookie of the year she once was. Natasha Howard vacuumed rebounds and tossed elbows of pure intent. When the third quarter closed at 68-47, the only suspense left was how large the embarrassment might grow. But that wasn't the whole story. The whistle that didn't work. Enter A'ja Wilson, MVP frontrunner and unofficial queen of the charity stripe.
Correct. She has the quad injury. Mind you, Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a game since she was like 19 years old. Since she was like 18 in college or something. Now she has a groin injury. We've never seen Caitlin Clark play as bad as she played the last 3 games. Let's just be serious here. She's like 1 for 20-something on threes in the last 3. We've never seen her shoot the ball this way. I'll say that. Has she been hurt and playing through this? Did this happen? Because you have people out there saying this injury happened when Stephanie White decided to sub her back in the last 8 seconds of the game versus the Seattle Storm when we was winning.
She finished with 29, yet 11 came from freebies. No whistle has been kinder all season, and still it changed nothing. The signature moment arrived midway through the third. Lexi Hull boxed her out textbook clean, snatched the board, and then felt Wilson's arms drape over her head like holiday tinsel. Every league ref in America knows the call. Over the back, Fever ball. These officials huddled, shrugged, and ruled a jump ball. Social media needed 6 seconds to melt. Steph White didn't need 6. The usually composed coach detonated, earned a technical, then clapped so hard the scorer's table rattled. Strangely, that tea became lighter fluid. Indiana's bench erupted, the crowd followed, and Vegas never scored a field goal for 4 straight minutes. Here's the brutal math.
In the case, the numbers tell a different story. The media can claim all they want. People are watching the WNBA to see AJ Wilson. They can claim that people are watching pretend basketball to see Angel Reese airball wide open shots. Angel Reese hits nothing but air. This level of quality entertainment, it can only be found in the WNBA dump. Like I tell you guys all the time, no one cares about Angel Reese. They damn sure don't care about watching AJ Wilson.
After you subtract Wilson's 9 for 18, the rest of Vegas shot 7 for 43, a frigid 16.3%. All-star guard Chelsea Gray posted 2 points, 2 assists, 5 turnovers. Bye nights and #WhistleWilson trended on X, but even her favored whistle couldn't cover the stench of a dynasty suddenly coughing dust. And what happened next would shock everyone, the star who refuses training wheels. While Vegas unraveled, Caitlin Clark choreographed a different performance, clipboard in hand, grin on face, spring and injured step. Her lingering groin strain has now cost 5 straight games, and Coach Steph White finally explained why. Clark will not accept a minutes cap. If there's going to be a limitation, White admitted, maybe we hold her another game. Translation: the Rookie of the Year would rather sit than tiptoe. Friday's practice offered a nugget of hope. Clark ran semi-live shooting drills, played 3-on-3 half-court bursts, felt no setback. What she hasn't done is roar end-to-end at game speed or defend live pick-and-rolls. Non-negotiables for a player who sprint screens more than any guard in the league. Until she passes that mile marker, the training staff's edict is iron.
It's part of the reason why I believe Caitlin Clark is hurt and dealing with these injuries. They keep letting her get hacked, hit, basically UFC fought on a basketball court. And with all that being said, let's head on over to X to look and see what has come out. Now, man, just like I told y'all, bro, there has been a lot of stuff going on all season long dealing with these WNBA referees. And it's just unfortunate, man, that this is the case because now Caitlin Clark is dealing with yet another.
No clearance. It's a rare collision. Athlete pride versus franchise prudence. Clark's brand feasts on Iron Woman availability. The Fever's front office has nightmares of a chronic groin echoing through future playoff runs. Both parties agree on one thing: 99% healthy is 0% acceptable. But while Clark heals, something unexpected has blossomed. Chemistry 2.0. Fever find their formula. Kelsey "Money" Mitch dropped 25 on the champs without hunting a single heat check. She probed, kicked, relocated, then sank dagger after dagger. Aliyah Boston bullied Wilson on the glass, spun baseline for soft hooks, and even Eurostepped. A 6'5" post Eurostepping is legal proof of confidence. Natasha Howard flashed the same cup final swagger, posting an 11-10 double-double sprinkled with 3 steals. Rookie Temi Timpson swatted shots like summer flies. The stat that screams loudest? 24 assists on 31 made buckets. When Clark's 30% usage sits in sweats, everyone else must share, and they've embraced the license. Over their 3-game streak, Indiana's defense has shackled opponents to 38% shooting, down from 46% the previous month. Pick-and-roll coverage is tighter, weak side rotations arrive a beat sooner, and Boston's verticality finally looks pro-level. Visibly, the cup title changed posture. Shoulders are back. High fives pop louder. A sideline Clark orchestrates the huddle like a backup quarterback who knows the playbook inside out. She's not on the floor, but her vibe has infected the locker room with a dangerous thought. We can win without her, so imagine when she returns. First, they proved it against Vegas.
Out. Injured again. Unfortunate reality when you bring players back too fast. Other things can get injured. You can overcompensate. You have a quad injury in camp. You bring her back too soon. She gets a quad injury a few games in. You bring her back too soon again. You can clearly see there's something wrong with her on the court. She has no lift. She has no shot trajectory. She has no burst. She can't get by anybody. Even for her being a poor defender, she looked like a parked car on defense, worse than...
Now another test looms. Saturday spotlight. Sparks at the Gamebridge Cauldron. Los Angeles rolls into Indy dragging a 3-8 skid, thin at guard, bruised in morale. Former Fever favorite Erica Wheeler headlines their backcourt, craving revenge after last summer roster cuts. Rookie phenom Cameron Brink anchors the paint, but has yet to solve Boston's footwork. Matchup magnets. Mitchell versus De'Arica Hamby. Speed versus strength. Boston versus Brink. Power versus length. Bench energy. Sophie Cunningham's chirp versus Kia Nurse's glare. If Indy corrals Hamby's transition stampede and wins the rebound margin, the streak likely stretches to 4, something this franchise hasn't tasted since 2012. Keep an eye on minutes for Timpson. Her rim protection might be the cheat code again. The subtext? Each extra win bought without Clark buys the medical team leverage to keep her shelved until truly ready, a luxury few star-dependent teams ever enjoy. Meanwhile, 1,800 miles west, a different giant is wobbling. Aces aftershock and league ripple. Vegas is now 4-6 over its last 10. Question swirl. Did they underestimate depth? Is Jackie Young's nagging hamstring worse than reported? Did the rest of the league finally decode Becky Hammon's motion offense? National analysts, desperate for simple answers, point at Clark's absence, yet ratings remain high, proof that storylines, not singular stars, drive viewership.
Today, the WNBA without Caitlin Clark remains an attraction that not many people want to watch. Remains a product that the vast majority of sports fans don't care for at all. The Caitlin Clark games, 3.2 versus the Sky, 2.7 versus Liberty. The Caitlin Clark games still are performing at a nice rate, but everything else dropped right off.
All-Star Weekend sits 10 days away. Wilson will make the mid-season classic, so will Boston, Mitchell, and of course Clark as captain. But locker room chatter has shifted. Players whisper that Indiana could climb to a top 4 seed if momentum outlasts the injury. Coaches quietly download game tape hunting how Indy switched coverages so fluidly. And TV execs giddy plan a potential first-round fever. Aces rematch, salivating over narrative gold. Which leads to the final question. Momentum versus mystique. One game does not crown a champion, but some nights redraw the map. Thursday proved whistles can't rescue complacency, star power can't cancel teamwork, and the so-called rebuilding fever might be one healthy groin away from terrifying the establishment. So what breaks first? The Aces' mystique or Indiana's momentum? When Clark finally checks in, no leash, no limits, does she amplify a system already humming or disrupt a rhythm forged in her absence? Drop your verdict below. Should the Fever keep caution first or unleash their captain the moment she hits 100%? Either way, remember the date. July's second week was the night the WNBA took a sharp left turn, and the rest of the season is the chase to see who hangs on. Thanks for riding shotgun through the chaos. If you're hungry for more breakdowns, rumors, and a little playful shade, you know what button to press. Until next time, keep the take spicy, the passes crisp, and never let a friendly whistle fool you into thinking the game is over. Because in this league, the real show starts when the refs blow it.